Hello, this is Cyrus Boquín of Janus Point Press with my Stephanie Pizzarillos asking me to show a little bit of my spoils from my first trip out to the New York Art Book Fair this October of 2022. Didn't know what to expect, but came away with a little treasure trove. So let's begin. While I was wandering around, I came upon the new photography issue of La Horchata, which is a great Central American and Central American diaspora zine publication, and just on this Refrescos en Bolsa cover, had to support. They've done great work. I have some of their other ones, and really cool photography. This one, previous ones have been more prose, but it was good. Very happy to find this. Came upon, this is a Beiruti publisher coming out with limited editions, had incredible art books. This one is in reference to a Palestinian poet, art historian, and just unreal art book maker, Kamal Bulata, who I was unaware of, and I just cannot wait to try and find some place I could go look at this book. 12 Lanterns for Granada. He often worked with this poet Adonis out of Syria, and this artist book of folding and including both translations in French, Spanish, the original Arabic, is just one of the most impressive books I've ever seen pictures of. So very excited to have begun learning about this artist and theorist, Kamal Bulata. So anxious to learn more about him and get his other works on Arab art. But a lot of my focus is really looking at the Latin American collections that is just difficult to find. And when I was, I think on the third floor, they tend to focus more on a lot of photography work, which I don't have that much of, so I was very excited. This Diario is a fascinating by Raya collection. Now, this is I believe out of Colombia too. But a fascinating look of Colombia based on river travels and entries, like a diary. Particularly looking at the indigenous, black communities on the rios of Colombia. And just some brilliant photography. Very excited to learn more about these communities here. And just I love the construction, the leather, the packaging, sort of. It was just a really lovely find to find this. Another book on focusing on the Rio, the Orinoco, the river really at the borders of Colombia and Venezuela. And this is based on the photography of Juanita Escobar and the writings of Cachi Ortegon. So excited to explore this as well. It's just some really nice, evocative photography. And to get in touch with the rivers of Las Americas. This is by a Peruvian photographer who became enamored of Guerrero, Mexico. And it's a photography as well, photojournalist look at this changing life in Mexico. The devastating agricultural changes of NAFTA really threatening the way of indigenous life. I had no idea, but apparently there's a significant poppy crop that some of the indigenas have turned to as a means of survival. This is just an incredible photograph there. And a look at just new way of Mexico, and including poetry as well. Let me show you, but the construction too of these books, and that's what's so nice. These artist book fairs are just a different way of narrative and laying out the page. It takes a while for some of these books to learn how many ways there are to view the book. We can't look at all of it. So yeah, also included on the flip side are in Spanish and English poems by Hubert Matiwai. But yeah, very excited to look at this Montaña Rojo by Cesar Rodriguez. I think this is an editorial of KWY, which editions now, that could be just Kui, perhaps, which Kui is a way of saying of guinea pig, form in the Andes of eating. Delicacy, or KWY, I'm not sure. But also another fascinating volume I got was this Verde, Federico Rios Escobar, that looked at the 10 last years of the FARC campaign in Colombia, and just an incredible photojournalist look at this end of the war in Colombia. But very excited to better look through this. It also comes with a whole map of where these pictures are from, to take apart this whole cover. So there's a lot of detailing as you go through this artist book series of just novel ways and of books that really are not meant so much for commercial enterprise, but artistic presentation and development. I love the unique packaging, adds a whole different layer of enjoyment. This is Cimarron, looking at the Afro-Ecuadoriano communities, which of the African diaspora in Las Americas, Ecuador doesn't get much press. So I've traveled and studied in Ecuador for a summer, and so I was very glad to find this Soy Negra Porque el Sol Me Miró collection by Janus Point. Some really great photography as well. Looking at this community of Ecuador. We have a nice Ecuadorian population here in Washington Heights, and in addition to Queens, so it was really nice to see that. And then one incredible, also fine, this is out of the 52W gallery, Candace Williams. Now I'm a big fan of master printmaker Leslie Do-Good Press, and so I was familiar with Candace Williams' work because Leslie had printed one of her prints and had done such an outstanding job. I wanted to catch 52W, but this work and descriptions are just fascinating by Candace Williams. So very excited. This one is a look. She had a lot of discussion of dance, and a fascinating essay here of dance is the most ephemeral of the arts because the human body is the most ephemeral of media. So excited to sit and look at that this collection of Candace Williams' work. But the probably the most unique, unexpected find I came across was this collection of Polvo Press serigrafia and risografia works by out of Oaxaca, Mirel Fraga and Alfonso Barreto put together these works of just some really psychedelic colors and high quality serigraph printing. Now, this one took me back and instantly reminded me of Oaxaca because if you're familiar with the ceramics of Oaxaca, they have a barro negro tradition of black clay that can often have very lustrous sheen, and so this print you have to adapt it and change it into the light, but very much evokes that ceramic tradition. And it was just a cool, but also with like tattoo flashcards, evoking a lot of the classic imagery. Once I saw a spray can here, because of my interest in graffiti, I was like, okay, gotta get this small volume. And my interest in mezcal drinking, Oaxaca's classic spirit, of which the murciélago, that is the pollinator of the agave plants. And so just these volumes are just so well printed and in colors that are so lustrous. Once you get to the just really exceptional color printing work by this Polvo Press, which I had not been familiar with at all yet. So this Bosque Tropical en la Ciudad, it's a nice small volume just of such cool colors. This Tierras en la Montaña is a collection of a number, I think 32 artists from Oaxaca, realized during the pandemic time. So I always like getting works, pandemic works, given my physician work, and all this serigrafia, and then even as a playlist that accompanies it, there was just really cool music too. So Estamos Hechos de Estrellas, just very cool, unique work out of Mexico, and the print works grabados out of Mexico are just so incredible. So I was really quite happy to be able to find these works that I just was not familiar with. This is, I believe, Mundo Invisible. Yeah, Polvo Press. And again, the glitter, the color, you just don't get a sense in this lighting, and almost any light, you have to see the works up front. I remember these were hidden. Arthur Fournier, his rare books collection, had, as a friend, in the back of a closet, had these with some black lighting on display, and I'm surprised I was able to catch it and watch. But once I got in and saw them up close, I was just really impressed by the quality, and the colors are like nothing I've seen in terms of the Mexican artworks that I tend to collect. So those are a little bit of my grabs from the New York Art Book Fair of 2022. Peace and blessings.